Hey Justin, how's it going, man? Good, good looking stuff. Good looking stuff. Amazing work. A lot of little detaily stuff that's just looks really, really great. Let's take a look. Oh, um, by the way, there really isn't. I decided to do this to give you like super detaily, tiny notes that I wouldn't even address if I were you until maybe like I would move on to your next shot, and then if you want to come back to this stuff later, it's just I looked at it and I think it looks great, and I think that if you want to do anything at all, I'll give I figure I saw a couple things here or there that are very minor that you can completely ignore, or if you see them now, if you agree with them, whatever. But I figured I'd just go through with a fine-tooth comb and tell you what I think. But otherwise, I think it looks great, and I think you're done. So let's take a look at it. The thing that, let's see, the main thing that I wanted to address, and this is just from my standpoint, my personal opinion, is I think that you really need to watch your arcs, especially the tip of the nose. If you look at him, um, there's some kind of weird things going on. It's not that weird. It's not like off-putting, but I mean the arcs. Again, everything that I'm going to say is very anal from my own standpoint. I think that your arcs are there. There is arcs. I'm just thinking. I just saw that the arcs could be maybe a little prettier, like they could be a little bit more fluid. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because we don't always move in these beautiful flowy movements. But that's just one thing I saw. Is if you look at his nose, you can kind of draw a prettier curve. I mean, there is an arc in there. I'm being way too anal now, but it kind of hits something there and starts to change direction. If you look at the tip of his nose, um, where it could be that arc could be maybe a little smoother. I love the finger splaying before the paper even moves, and then how the pencil rolls. Really great stuff. Really awesome stuff. Um, really anally note on her. I love how she's texting, but it would kind of be nice if the thumb moved around to other uh, numbers on the pad. Like, because right now it looks like she's just doing this. She's hitting the same thing, and it might be interesting if she was hitting, different. It would look like she's texting very quickly rather than just hitting one button. Really, again, that's a dumb anal note, but I'll give you stupid notes like that just because this is so finished. Um, uh, there's something about the arc on her nose there. It could be maybe a little prettier. Um, a general note I have to say also is I love the attitudes of both of these characters. He's so timid, and then when he replies back to her, you take my notes every week. It's like you really feel that. It's so like it's such a weird emotion. It's almost like sarcastic. You take my notes every week. It's like he's timid, but he's being sarcastic at the same time, and that seems like a real hard emotion to portray, but you've nailed it. Because it's complex. It's timid. It's not just timid. It's not just sarcastic. It's like a timid and sarcastic, and you've blended those together really nicely. I personally, I don't know how I would ever be able to do that. So that's really, really nice. This kind of bothers me here. I love the movement on the eye. Um, on the you've done such a great job with the little things like the paper and the pencil and the glasses and everything. The only thing that bothers me about this is it's the pose. um, to me, I think that bring the arm out here a little bit more so we get a little bit more silhouette. Because when I think about when I do it, if I had glasses, I would kind of do, you know, I guess I could do this, but then, from an animation standpoint, you're inside the silhouette, you're blocking the face. I would kind of rather see you do something like this, that gets kind of a prettier silhouette out to the side, and that also the way it is now, the hand is a little, it feels a little broken to me, because it comes back so far, and I'm wondering if this was, you know, just angled out a little bit more, then the hand would be a little bit straighter to the arm, you know. And then we would also probably get a little bit of the mouth in there as well. And then when he comes down with his hand, I'm thinking that you're probably using IK or something here. There's a kind of a big spacing jump. If you plot the arc, there's a big jump there. Because he's kind of going really slow at this same speed through here. It's very slow, and then he gets to the very end and he just sort of speeds up. And there is this residual action, but there's something about it that looks like an FK-IK switch, and it might need to be smoothed out a little bit. You do have this great residual that's going on, but there's something also with how quickly the wrist looks like it's rotating. There's just something there, because then it looks like it comes back the other way. You see what I'm saying? Like here, the wrist is way pointed that way, and then when it hits here, it rotates this way, and then here, it rotates that way more, and then here it looks like it's counter-rotating that way. So that, I mean, I know it's kind of like sliding on that thing, but it looks like something needs to be simplified in there. Let's see. Again, watch her arc. She seems like she's hitting a little something here. She's kind of hitting an angle like that, when you might want to smooth that out a little bit so it's more like a curve. This is a hard hand move. It looks like she's changing directions, and it really slows down here in space, so you may want to drag this wrist back a little bit more through here, so then she could hit this kind of a pose here and then come around to that. You know, the spacing needs to be worked out a little bit more in there. Great finger movement through here on her. Although there is a little strange wrist action happening in there. It's a big wrist rotation. I think what I would do is, what's happening is she's kind of going like this, and then the wrist is going down more, and I think just draw a little bit more of an arc where she's coming down like this, and then start to lead with the wrist coming up slightly, and then the wrist can come up to a rest. Because right now what's going on is it looks like she's going down, and then her wrist is going down, but the wrist joint is coming down, but her fingers are coming up as this is going down. And I think what you want to do is come down and then start to bring that wrist up, and then bring this up to settle. You know, so it's like this instead of being like this. If that makes any sense. Moving right along. Again, watch her nose through here. That looks like there's a little hitch. This is a great part right here. The only thing about here is right here. It looks right there like I can see some of his shorts or his pants or whatever through the thing, and it almost seems like there's not enough contact. See, there's this tension right here between where his wrist and the table connect. It just looks like they're barely touching. It's just kind of strange how they're just there. And I would say on that, penetrate the table a little bit with his arm, so it looks like he's resting on the table. And then that way we don't see this this shy amount of green right there. That's a poor drawing of an arrow. But there's just I could see a little bit of his pants through there. I would just translate in that wrist a little bit more, so it may be penetrating the table just slightly, just enough to make it look like there's weight resting on that